Well, April is Fair Housing Month to celebrate the Fair Housing Act of 1968 that outlawed discrimination in real estate. But more than 7 decades later, housing discrimination, it is still a major issue.
Yeah, and joining us now to talk about the problems and ways to kind of confront them is CEO of Bizzarro Agency, Matthew Bizzarro. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's an honor to be here. It's great to see you all again.
All right, let's jump right in and talk about how big of a problem is housing discrimination nationwide, and what type of discrimination are we talking about?
So nationwide, it's still a very big problem. If you just look at the numbers, black home ownership is only 43.5% compared to white home ownership, which is 72%. So honestly, that's barely more than it was back in 1966 before the Fair Housing Act even passed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think one of the challenging things about discrimination, housing discrimination, is that, look, it isn't that someone has a sign that says, you know, oh, we don't want black people to live here, or
right,
we don't want people from Mexico to live here, or whatever. You know, that's not how they do it. It's very slick the way they do it. It's a realtor saying, well, why don't you look over here? Or a condo board saying, yeah, you know what, you're just not quite what we're looking for. So how do you break that when it can be kind of hidden?
Right, well, and that's the thing, is that it's illegal, but no one's going to hold up that sign and say, hey, I'm discriminating against you, right? It's going to be on the low. So you have to always have your antennas up and your radars out. And when you're searching, you want to make sure that you have it dialed in the back of your mind. So for example, New York State just passed an SOP law, Standard Operating Procedure Law, that says brokerages must state on their website what their operating procedures are. So for example, do we require you to show photo ID? Do we require you to have a pre-approval? So if you are getting asked what feels to you like a lot of questions, then you can actually go back and look up that brokerage's SOP, their operating procedures, and cross-check if what the agent is doing to you is in fact in line with what the brokerage says.
So as Corey was mentioning, you know, a lot of this is hidden. People aren't going to come out and just say, hey, we don't want you here. So how can someone tell if they are actually being discriminated against?
So I think the first thing is this. If you're getting really bad service, I will always watch for that. Now, it's possible that it's a bad agent, but if you're getting ghosted a lot and you're getting horrible service, it could be a sign that they're discriminating you or they're treating you unfairly. So you definitely want to be on the lookout for that. We actually just had clients that encountered that the other weekend at an open house. They were super qualified, super excited to see the unit. When they got to the open house, the minute the listing agent looked at them, they dropped their guard and basically tuned them out. And they didn't have a tour, they didn't have their questions answered. I mean, it's horrific. And as soon as another white couple came into the open house, the listing agent lit up, treated them with a gold standard, gave them a tour, answered their questions, and I mean, it's heartbreaking. So my clients got their questions answered, except through the lens of somebody else asking. And it's horrible and it's heartbreaking. And it ended up having the client ask. They asked me, hey, Matthew, can we buy? Of course you can buy. You're super qualified. And the heartbreaking question, is this common? And no, it's not common and should never happen. Okay.
So you're that person, and by the way, that story is infuriating. I think anyone hearing it should be infuriated by it.
Makes me crazy.
Because it's disgusting.
Yes.
But what can you do? You think, look, this person here is treating me differently because I'm black, or I'm from this place, or I'm this old, this age. You know, all whatever. You're being treated differently. You're being discriminated against. What can you do?
So I think, first of all, you want to make sure that you have an agent by your side that's going to be your advocate. Because regardless if this is happening, this may be zero reflection on the seller. So you want to make sure you have an agent that is standing by your side and can get through this. That's first. Second, if you end up seeing this on the side of it being your agent, you need to fire them. You need to get rid of them because you should never work with anybody that doesn't treat you as a human. It's just unacceptable, right? With all the laws coming out, if you find as a buyer you're being discriminated on, absolutely you want to file a complaint with that brokerage or that company, because I guarantee you, leadership, management will want to hear what you have to say. Second, you can file a complaint with the Department of State. We have a lot of resources on our website, bizzarroagency.com, that will help you come front and learn more about housing discrimination. But honestly, bottom line is, when you're looking for a place to live, stay the course. Always stay the course. Find a real estate agent that you can trust, that'll help you navigate these, and basically don't let any knuckleheads get in your way.
Well, Matthew Bizzarro, I'm sure we will continue this conversation. Matthew Bizzarro with the Bizzarro Agency, thank you again for talking to us about housing discrimination and really shedding light on this issue. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.